Yes.
relationship with him, which was really interesting and much
Yes.
more respectful and not
Yes.
so. And I
Yes.
I would like to think, that he has grown up too, but I also feel that my understanding of myself contributed to the way he reacted to me,
Exactly. Exactly.
which was
Absolutely. Absolutely. Unquestionably.
Wow.
Questionably.
Yes. Yes.
so it was
Sorry, keep going. I don't mean to
no,
interrupt
it
you.
was cool. And also I realized, I was telling Erica this, I think some of the things that kind of irritated me when we were in college about Jeff was it, I think that I didn't understand his sense of humor. And
Mm.
now I think I get it. And
Wow.
um, so, I mean, part of the change was me having a different understanding of him, and also me having a different understanding of myself.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but it was interesting. It was one of those step back
Yeah.
experiences where you watch what's happening and look at it as though it was someone else.
The-
And
There's a difference. When you step back, now, if you are focused on yourself and justifying yourself, or being awkward or shy, or defending yourself, or whatever, whatever the case may be, people do all sorts of things, right? Or trying to promote themselves or whatever. In other words, if you focused on yourself, you can't step back and actually hear and appreciate and acknowledge and connect and see what's going on. Yes,
yes,
your irises are closed
right,
when you in
exactly,
bubble. So with you, with irises open, could really see him.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's very, very, very cool. Also, if we devalue ourselves or undervalue ourselves, in other words, if we're apologizing for ourselves, right?
Right.
Let's make this personal here,
Yes,
right? And make it pertinent too. If we are doing that, some people, or most people probably, but certainly some people, really get bothered by that. They almost get annoyed by it. Why? Because they feel you are
uh-oh, I didn't hear the end.
disrespecting yourself.
So
Can you hear me
you're
now?
cutting in and out. Oh
Ah,
yes,
hold
now.
on, hold on, hold on, 1 second. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, no, but once it starts at this time of the day, then I'll just switch over. I don't know why it's times a day sensitive, but I'll just switch real quick. 1 second. But before I switch here, I want to make the point though that if you are devaluing yourself, some people find that they think you're being disrespectful to yourself, and it really bothers them. And they may actually treat you with some disrespect as a result.
Right. I think that was
And
probably
I suspect Jack is one of those.
yes, Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And of course, now you get this feedback loop, right?
Right.
He's not actually being necessarily a jackass. He's being a jackass towards you. He isn't necessarily one, but you are cueing him how to behave to you. And he's responding appropriately, and it's just this mess loop. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
Yes, it's very interesting. It is
Yeah.
very
So
interesting.
as you go along, you are going to see, because of your shift on your own self, how people are going to respond differently to you.
Yes.
Yeah. Big
It's
time. Big
very
time.
it's super interesting. So it was fun. It was fun to get to see Lisa, and I got to meet her granddaughters, who are, really little, but it was fun. I'd seen
Oh,
pictures of them on Facebook and everything, but I hadn't met them, so that was fun.
oh, good.
And
You could be Grand Aunt Kay.
yes, there you go.
Ah, brilliant.
So yeah,
Fantastic.
it, it was really
Fantastic.
good. So
Fantastic. Um, did your friend? I'm not sure if you mentioned or not, but I sort of get the feeling you haven't seen her for a while. Yes.
Well, of course, she didn't come home last year because of COVID. But before that, she pretty much came home once a year, and I'd get to see her.
Oh, good. Okay, so you haven't seen her for like 2 years then.
Right.
Oh, good. So how
But
did?
he is one of those people. For me, we are this to each other, and we have remarked about it. How it doesn't even matter how long it's been since you have
Yes.
seen the person. You just instantly, it's just like you've never.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so interesting, and I love having friends like that. And
Yes. Me too. Me too. That's real friendships where you just, no matter how much time has go, you just pick up right where you left off. No difference. Yeah. 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 I
so,
agree. That's real deep friendship for me. But I want to ask, how did she respond to seeing you physically? So I'm assuming you've been in contact a little bit.
right,
Yeah. How did she respond? Because she knows you fairly well, I'm assuming.
right.
Yeah. So how did she respond to when she saw you?
Well, to be honest, I mean, she was right in the middle of a, you know,
Oh, so she wasn't particularly observant. I got you. Okay.
no, because her mom actually passed away at the beginning of March.
Mm.
But when she came home, she spent the whole week with with her brothers. She has three brothers, and they went through her mom's whole house and pulled everything out, and were trying to figure out what to do with everything. And it was just a big,
Yeah.
jumbled,
Yeah.
and I'm sure very emotional mess. And one of the things that was interesting, her parents um, had a florist business,
Oh.
and they had bought this property when it was out in the country, and now it's kind of like in the middle of town. And
Oh, wow.
they worked really hard, and
So like a nursery then, I would assume.
they
Yeah.
have a nursery, and her brother is running it now, and has for a long time. But and an interesting thing too, her biological mom passed away when she was like a baby. And so her
Oh.
dad remarried, and this
Mm.
woman who has just passed away is her quote unquote stepmom, but
Right.
never referred to her as her stepmom. She was her
It's a
mom.
actuality, mom.
Yes. And so it was interesting. And there were one of the interesting things for me about the whole experience was I had forgotten a lot of things about. I knew her mom really well, and she and my mom were good friends, and
Oh.
um, in their later years. But there were a lot of things about Barbara that I had forgotten. She was an artist, a really good artist, and I do remember her. She used to have this big loom, like a full size loom, and she would weave these really beautiful
Oh.
fabrics and everything.
Oh. Oh.
And I mean, I had like totally forgotten that about her. And there were all these paintings of hers laying around, and different things. But
Wow.
yeah, it was, and just made me think, because she was 95, which is pretty good. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it just makes you think, I guess. And maybe as you get older, you start thinking about this more. I don't know, but she lived a really interesting, great life. Um, but
We
you
have some.
but you look around, I mean, and there's
Oh,
her house, and it's just full of all this stuff, whatever. And I guess because I'm cleaning out stuff and thinking about
it was pertinent and relevant.
pertinence and relevance,
Yeah.
you just think, okay, well, it's really cool, but when it comes down to it,
Yeah.
you know,
Does it make a difference? Yeah.
no,
It makes a difference to you
yes,
in the moment, and that's all that counts.
right.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very important. Makes a difference to you now.
Right,
Maybe it make a difference in the future, maybe not, but it makes a difference now. We
right.
change, we grow. It doesn't matter. It's now that counts, because later never comes, and later is irrelevant.
Right.
now that counts.
It's true.
Very important. Very, very important.
Okay, so I have gone through the that last session in the middle of the
Excellent.
last thing,
Excellent. Excellent.
uh,
Excellent.
and really, it's like I said last time. I mean, that whole thing about the book about find your why, that made this session really pop out to me and really understand
Excellent. So it made it even more pertinent and relevant to you now.
and more pertinent and relevant by looking.
We love pertinence and relevance because now it is doubly emphasized. And this is
Right?
what
Oh,
we
I
want.
know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, and that's why I guess, I mean, I have the repeat backs and takeaways. I also have some extra thinking that I've been doing,
Ooh, bonus material.
bonus material. And as always, Brene Brown is involved in this, and
All good. All good. All good. Yeah.
her podcast today. Like I was saying, it's just so interesting how once you are learning something, how you get these things from all
Exactly.
around the different places
Exactly.
that kind of
Exactly.
tell you the same
And
thing, encourage
exactly. And this is testament to what we are doing. Way of impeccability, it's not the conclusion. It is the toolbox that you can
Right.
use to come to conclusions and insights and perceptions and implications and moreness. And this is exactly the demonstration, the proof that it's working, that
Oh,
you do find value in Brene and here and everywhere. Everywhere you look, suddenly you're just finding all this moreness, right?
it's great.
That's why, because you have the tools to do so. Very
Right.
simple.
Which is
Very simple. And the magical thing is that when you do it, you just get the value. You don't always say directly why. So, okay, somebody from the outside could say, yeah, but still, your way of impeccable is not getting the credit here. It is, in my view, the fact that it's not directly obvious that you're getting it because of way of impeccability. That means it's really working as intended.
well, I mean, to me, it's really obvious that
Yes,
that's
yes.
where the value is
Yeah,
coming
because you asked the question.
Right.
And I made a point to point it out to you, but like I said, somebody else may not see that. You asked specifically, you wanted to know. Yeah. So it's very cool. It's very, very, very magically cool. Fantastic stuff. Love it.
So
Okay, so we are on. Let me just get there because my internet decided to finally come back. I had to reboot, but anyway, so we are on.
okay, let me get there too.
Yeah.
We are on module 7, session 3.
7-3. All right.
Making sense of it all.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Yes.
And I don't think we did any of the repeat backs and takeaways.
No, we haven't done anything yet. No, so let's start from scratch. Yeah.
Okay, start at the beginning. All right.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So it starts off. It says a magical adventure,
Yes.
life missions. Yeah.
Yes. Which, to me, I mean, that's another way of saying, what do you want? It's another way of saying,
Exactly.
what's your
Exactly.
why? It's another way of saying,
Exactly.
whatever. And
Exactly.
and all the things we did at the beginning about being a spirit explorer and all of that. I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about to me.
Exactly.
Back
Exactly.
around.
Exactly. And all of this that you said earlier, you said, that things are coming into your life on the lessons that we've been learning, and then they come into your life. This is exactly the magic, that exploration, why we see it this way, because it is a magical business, a very, very magical business, right?
Which is awesome. I like it.
It's too incredible. Yeah.
Okay, so my repeat back for the first one was, our life mission is the development and enhancement of awareness.
Yes.
It is a grand adventure, our journey, our story. The universe helps us along the way, but that's a mistake. We must make our own discoveries and learn the lessons ourselves.
Yeah.
My takeaway is the point of life is to learn and become more become aware of more and more of life's fullness and beauty. This is my mission, my purpose. I believe that the mission also includes sharing what we learn and helping others along the way. Now, that's me. That's my interpretation.
Yes,
Say
but
that.
sharing. I don't care how much of an intent you have to help, as long as you're going to do it via sharing.
Right. Not putting it onto someone.
Exactly. I mean, somebody may listen to the capital H hearing program and say, "Oh, you got a problem with helping." No, not at all. It's appropriate helping that I have an issue with.
Right.
So
right.
sharing, always. Sharing is so magical. It is so incredibly magical. It's free. It's free. Sharing is free. Yeah.
Well, and it's also the absolute best way to learn yourself.
Exactly.
But I think that's one of the, and you know, I have only heard about the diplomacy from Erica, you know, with things that
Right,
she has
right.
said. But I love the idea that diplomacy involves giving other people the having them, I can't remember how to say it, that you're showing them an alternative, basically.
Yeah. Providing.
Providing an alternative, an alternative viewpoint, or
Not just one, but many.
right. And not saying that they should or they have to, or I'm so much smarter, so you should do what I say, you know, or anything like that. Just here, oh, here's another way of looking at it, and you know, let them decide. Which I think that's, for me, that's part of the whole mission, is the sharing part.
Yep.
Um,
In other words, our diplomacy, we share alternative options, plural,
right.
which provide an opportunity for somebody to get out of basically a jam or a mess, or getting egg on their face.
Right.
But we do so without forcing them to fall flat on their face.
Right. Right.
Or if they have, we assist them where it doesn't appear that they did, or it's not obvious that they did, and it's not a problem. So we are doing this sharing and of alternative options with a deep consideration to maintaining their self-respect, their self-image, their connectivity to what's in the world around them, to not make them feel bad in any way, in other words, without mollycoddling or condoning or being complicit.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a big thing that we do. It's
is.
a big thing. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there, Kay. We'll get
I'm trying to think, because it seems like, I had an experience like with this.
Ah.
Got to tell you guys about. And I was really happy. I mean, always tons of room for improvement, but I felt this improvement. I had been looking at my bills, and I saw that I have a, I don't know if it's a contract, but I have it set up so that a pest control company comes out. And when I first moved into that house, and before I moved into that house, you would see, every once in a while, you would see this, like a big old nasty cockroach, basically.
All right.
And my mom was sort of in denial about it, and she called it a water bug, you know. And um, I thought it was the most creepy and disgusting thing that I had seen. And so immediately when I moved in, I called these people and got them to come out, and they, take care of it. And I have not had any problems. But a while back, they had also done this thing about termites. And I found out later that it was sort of not a scam, but it was, not really necessary, I guess. And so I called and I said I wanted to cancel that part of the service. And the girl that answered was really nice. And she said, well, I need you to talk to the manager in order to cancel this. And I said, okay, that's fine. She said, well, he's at lunch or whatever, and I'll have him call you. And I said that was fine, but he didn't call.
Yes, sneaky.
Yeah. So the next billing period, I got billed for it again. And so I called back and said, I asked to have this removed and I've been charged for it again. And I said, I'm not really used to being the grouchy customer, but I'm not very happy about that. And
Right,
I said,
good for you.
you went ahead and did it. You did perform the service. I will pay for the one that you have already done, but I will not pay for it again. And I want that to be removed.
Yeah.
She said again, well, I need you to talk to the boss. I said, fine, but this is how we got into this position in the first place because he did not call me back.
Yeah.
Said, okay, well, I will make sure I'll put this big giant note, whatever, blah, blah. Didn't hear from him again.
Yeah.
So I got a notice that it said, we're coming out to do your service. So I was kind of, to be honest, it was not very diplomatic and I was kind of mad,
Yeah.
So I called up and this time I was not quite as nice as I had been.
Good.
And I said, hey, I have called twice in the last 6 weeks. I have called you twice. I have not received a call back from the manager. I have, I've been charged for a service that I said I wanted to stop, blah, blah, blah. This is not happening anymore. I'm getting ready to cancel the entire thing and find somebody else. And so he finally called me back.
That got the manager's attention. Yeah.
And he was just so nice and apology, blah, blah, whatever. And I was just so weird. He said, well, when at that time we were just in all these meetings and I was just so busy. And
Yeah, right.
And I'm going, yeah. And he said, I apologize for not getting back with you. And this is the really exciting part. I said, thank you for your apology.
Wow.
Good. Perfect.
Very cool. Because by implication, you are acknowledging that an apology was needed
Exactly.
and
Yes.
appropriate. Brilliant.
Yes.
Fantastic capital
Perfect.
diplomacy. Very cool.
I did not say, oh, that's okay, or, whatever. I said, thank you for your apology. And
Right.
on blah, 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 And I said, okay, well, and he said they had canceled the service and they had refunded.
Wow.
And I said, well, again, I just wanted to call and be sure that everything was taken care of. And I appreciate your apology.
Fantastic.
And
Oh, wow.
I was so proud of myself. I was like,
Exactly.
yes. So it was interesting because I did feel, but the other part of it was, I mean, when I got this message that they were coming out again, it turned out they were coming out to take out the things that they had put in the ground for the termite.
Right.
But I did not know that.
Yeah.
So my first reaction was to be really angry and unhappy and really wanting to say something really ugly. And I knew that was my reaction, And but before I called back or before I talked to him, I said, okay, let's think about this. First of all, that is not going to accomplish anything. And it is not really impeccable for me to just, well, it's not. So
I love it. Yes. Bonus points.
Yes. So I thought to myself, okay, Diplomacy. How can I be firm and strong and stick with what is right and good, but not in a way that makes him feel
Look bad.
bad or
Exactly.
whatever.
Lose face or whatever. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I felt that I did that. I felt really,
Absolutely.
and I didn't have to know exactly what I was going to say ahead of time, which
That's another major point.
another major point for me. So
For everybody,
it
it's
was
a huge deal. Yeah.
it was a real win. So anyway, that got way off the topic, but
No,
it
no, no.
was
It's totally on topic. It's about confirmation of proof of change.
right. Oh,
That
yes,
that
absolutely.
trust that you would come up, you didn't have to know. That's capital T trust.
Right.
Right? It's huge. The
It is.
diplomacy, when you said, I accept your apology, you are confirming something needed to be apologized for, but you didn't say, look, you were wrong.
Right.
Very diplomatic way. Diplomatic, but also this will do in capital diplomacy. Adamance is a huge part of. So you were at the same time when you said, I accept your apology, you're adamant about the point that something needed apologizing for, but
Right.
in the capital D diplomatic way. It is and change the response and the behavior. Furthermore, another thing that you did here that's huge, and we're playing name that app. Carry that into the meeting, but at the same token, I've got this goal. I want to be nice, I want to be kind, I want to be courteous, I want to be generous, but I also don't want to be, a pushover and all this stuff, right? I want to be adamant about the point, but also be nice. And in other words, I want to apply capital diplomacy.
Right.
You had that clearness of the look now when I dissect it, right, and I apply all the different discernments to it, we start to see, oh, this was one simple supposed, but there was a lot of sophistication that went into it, right? The clarity of intent, the collaborative counterbalance of different agendas. You managed to do them all simultaneously, yes? An
Yes.
absolute example of collaborative counterbalance, yeah?
Yes. I mean, and now he has the opportunity to keep my business,
Exactly.
which would be his, I'm sure would be his goal.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I have the opportunity to have the kind of service that I am looking for.
Exactly.
And I did say, communication is really important and following through. And, I even though I'm not some huge customer, I didn't say this, but you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it is really true. It is something that I am thinking a lot about also. Because I think the people that we do business with, I am having different expectations about and
Yes.
kind of different standards almost.
Yep.
And I'm at this point, I'm not happy with a couple of people, and I'm making changes based on what my different expectation. And it's interesting. It's just interesting how, this whole
Yeah.
you change something in your way of thinking, and then just it affects so many different parts of your life. And
Mm.
just the average common regular parts of your day. It's not like some huge change in your life, but it is huge.
It's massive.
It's
It
that
changes everything.
I am interested in working with people who are thinkers, not just automatically do things,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Sarah, I think I told you about this. She had a pretty traumatic week last week with getting sprayed by the mailman, first of all. And then, she went to the groomer. They said she had a broken toenail. So I had to take her to the vet the next day. And the vet, I have gone to this vet for probably 17 years. I've had
Wow,
multiple animals through there. And
wow.
there were two vets, and one of them was the one I really liked, and he retired, and the other one is still there. And so they sold me some medicine, because apparently if you have a broken nail that goes clear down to the quick and all that, there could be infection and it's painful.
Mm, mm.
So there was some medicine that was for the infection and another medicine for the pain.
Mm.
So I get her home and I am looking at the instructions on the medicine. The one for pain says if your dog takes this and there's vomiting or diarrhea or
Wow.
then discontinue and call us.
Yeah.
So I am thinking to myself, okay, you have known this dog since she was 12 weeks old. You know that she has half of her intestines. You know that she has, is on a really restricted diet. You know that everything gives her diarrhea, like really bad diarrhea.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you're giving me medication that has potential to give her diarrhea. Why are we doing this?
Exactly.
They're not another alternative.
Yeah. There's an implication there.
What is the implication to you?
The implication that they don't particularly respect you.
Well, or
They're not really considerate of you.
right.
They're not giving you the best service. Yeah.
Exactly. So before I gave her any of it, I called them and kind of pointed that out. And I was like, is this something I should actually be giving her? Because, you remember her condition,
Yeah.
And so they said, oh, no, don't give it to her. Just keep it in case you really need it. And I'm thinking $35 for this little thing that I can't use, which
Yeah. It's like, no, sorry. No.
kind of irritated me. But they had given her some of it when she was at the vet. And so, of course, she got diarrhea. And, so to me, I'm just like, are you not thinking at all? And I feel like I've had that happen with myself at the doctor, where they give me a medicine and then it has a side effect and then they want to treat me for the side effect. And I'm like, I thought, no, use your head. And so I'm just finding a lot of instances where it seems like people have this little set program of what they do, and they don't look at the specific instance or the specific person or the specific dog or whatever, and they just mindlessly go through this routine. And I don't want to do business with people like that. I want to do business with people who think,
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was the same
It's
thing.
a lack of respect. Sorry, but there's no other way to really look at it.
Right. So anyway, that is something that is changing in my experience. And I think I've been aware of that before, maybe not quite as much, but I have been aware. But I haven't, I think a change in who I am and who I know I am is changing my ability to be able to stand that. I'm like, no, I'm not tolerating that anymore.
There you go. There you go. You are the determining factor, not them.
Right. Sarah,
That's the shift.
stop.
That's the big, massive, magical, profound shift that you are saying, if they doing this, it's not them necessarily, it's kind of me. Either I'm accepting it or I'm queuing it or I'm allowing it, but I am the determining factor. You now thus take full responsibility for this whole thing. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
And this is incredible, this shift. This is a big, massive, big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When we realize, oh my goodness, I'm the one who's responsible for this, not them.
Right.
Well,
Exactly.
if you're not going to say something, if you're not going to be respecting yourself, well, why should they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. It is an interesting thing. And
Fascinating.
it really
It's
is a shift
fascinating.
that's happening just kind of across the board, which is cool. I mean, it's really cool to watch, but
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. This domino effect.
it is.
Yeah.
That's a good description. Domino effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll call you K Domino Patrick from now on.
Domino. All right.
You know the movie Domino,
Yeah.
based on the book series, I think. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I was kind of referring to. You know, the agent on the mission, right?
Oh, I now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah, she's like the super bounty hunter. Her name's Domino, and
Right.
anyway,
That's
we'll
me.
have some fun with it.
That's me. That's it. All right. So I'm going to move on to number 2. See, we get one slide and we get all that. Everything in life is geared for the purpose of enhancing and developing awareness. Even the smallest experience or situation is aimed at this goal. Well, I think we just talked about that. Basically.
Yeah.
But I wrote, when I see this as the goal of every experience, everything changes. Just
Yes.
this perspective changes
Yes.
the focus of everything I experience. To ask myself, what new awareness is this experience teaching me?
Yes.
Value and joy to each situation.
Yes. And look how with the vet or other businesses that weren't treating, or the terminators, the pest people. How is this? You said, I want to pay attention to people I'm in relationships with, who I do business with, because they affect the overallness of my life. They affect the quality of your awareness enhancement and development.
Right, true.
They don't add to you. They're trying to take away from you in the minute. Nah, come on, move on. Sorry, you're not going to treat me. There's plenty other people.
There are
to do business with.
people, and I think that's what I realized with the pest thing.
Yeah.
There are an awful lot of companies that do that kind of work, and I'm kind of in the same boat with my alarm company and just different things. But what I think is cool for me is not accepting that kind of behavior.
Yes, changing it. Exactly.
That's not okay. Although with the pest people, I'm glad that I am giving them another chance. And if they do a great job, good. If not,
it's
one of other options. So
exactly. You don't need to necessarily change the company in order to change the relationship.
Right. Exactly.
That's a very magical thing, because sometimes you can't easily change the relationship. So, I mean, the company. So you want to be able to change the relationship. Yeah. Right?
Right.
Yeah. You want to have all your options available.
Okay. So number 3, trust has made the difference in the shift in our state of being. Trust can be positive or negative. If we don't have trust, we are anxious, fearful, worried, and stressed. If we do have trust, we are prepared, aware, thoughtful, strategic, and prudent.
And cautious.
Okay.
Yeah, caution is very important. Yeah. It came up earlier today, and I think we've spoken about caution before, but I don't know if it quite came in that particular way. If you take trust plus impeccability equals caution.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because think of it, trust without impeccability could make you foolhardy, no?
I have done that many times. Yes.
There you go. So when we put the two together, and caution for us, capital C caution in our dictionary of power, it's a magical thing, because first of all, our caution says we are being prepared, we are looking ahead, we are doing research, right? We are
Right.
doing everything we can to go into the situation. Caution is not saying we won't do it. We are saying caution, we are going to engage in this appropriately, knowing that our humility says, I don't know everything that I might need to know, right? So caution doesn't inhibit us from acting, but adds to our ability to act, right?
Right.
We are enabling ourselves to do something to the best of our ability.
Right. Sensibly brave.
And we are enhanced. We are more alert, because, man, if I'm going to have to be brave, I sure as hell want to be on my most attentive, my most aware, my most alert, right? I mean,
Right.
bravery is being risk, but I want to be maximum alertness and energized and motivated. So yeah, it's very cool. So, when we look at caution in this way, it becomes an incredible power, very massive power tool. Yeah, very cool.
I like it.
And this, I mention it because this is a skill that you do possess already.
You think so?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
May not exercise it, but you certainly have it. Hey, if you're a kindergarten teacher, if you don't have caution, you're gonna get in trouble very quickly. No.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Exactly.
You're right. I do. I think that I have not utilized that skill in certain areas of my life. And I have used it in some, not in others.
Exactly.
I need
Exactly.
to be
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
aware and use it in
Yep.
all
Yep.
areas.
Exactly. 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 Now, when you were with the best people,
Right.
you were being cautious there.
Right.
You prepared, you thought it through, you had clarity of intent, you went into it with an objective, you also went into it with trust and impeccability, because your impeccability says, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to make an enemy, there's no need for it. And yes, they were being a bit squirrely, but I'm going to give them the benefit of that. It's not just impeccability, that's also your nobility and your capital diplomacy. So all of that is, and the way you went into it was with caution. No.
Right.
But the caution leveraged you to be more, and you were more.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. That caution prepared you, and you had clarity of intent. Through that clarity of intent, you could go into it and be ready and be appropriate, right? And be sharp and be alert and be open to things coming to you. Yeah, be attentive. In other words, very
Yeah.
cool. Right?
I like it. Something good to think about. Okay.
Massive.
Development and enhancement of awareness is our ultimate goal. And all the other goals in life are really there just to serve that larger purpose. It's easy to get distracted by these sub goals. But once we realize the big picture, everything falls into place.
Yeah.
Everything in our experience is custom fitted to our purpose of developing and enhancing our awareness. Each of us has an individual education plan designed by the universe. I was talking to you about that before, that the special ed kids all have an IEP, individual.
Yes, we all special ed to
We're all
universe.
special ed. We need
We're
more.
all special ed, exactly.
That's right.
That's the nincompoopry in us that acknowledges that.
Oh,
We're all special ed.
that is, really.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely.
All right. So my takeaway was it's good to remember that everything in our experience comes to us for the purpose of awareness and learning. There is a feeling of being cared for and shepherded throughout our life, which makes the difficult times seem less bewildering and more empowering.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um, and then the next one is flexible fluidity, the ability to change and flow and adapt with ease and speed.
Yeah.
Easy to be fooled into thinking that our submissions are bigger more important and permanent. When we see that they are just part of the big picture, we can be more adaptable and more willing to let go of situations that no longer serve our larger purpose. This is a really big point, that this is the thing that keeps coming. Seeing the big picture makes it easier for me to make changes in the smaller areas of my life. I can ask myself, does this situation help me move toward my greater purpose? If not, I can move on. If
Yes.
so, I can remain and work hard to get the most value out of it without feeling impatient to move on. Um,
Without feeling impatient.
I mean, I have struggled with that, feeling like, okay, I get it. It's time to go. Time to keep, time to move on. And obviously, the universe is saying, no, you haven't really gotten everything
Go.
you need out of
There
that.
you
So,
go. There's more. There's more. The universe is saying. Yeah.
yes. And I love this part where you talk about young children. And it is so true. And the more I thought about it, and my friends, one of my friends' little granddaughters that I was with the other day, I watched her do this, and it's so fun to watch kids. Young children have the remarkable capacity to change without fear or concern.
Yes.
Everything is an adventure. Everything is now.
Yes.
We should cultivate this kind of childlikeness.
Yes.
And I wrote, I have spent many years watching children do this very thing, and it is magical.
Yes.
Sometimes it's difficult to get them to give up what they are doing when they're really into it. They're really
Yeah.
unless they can see the value and excitement of the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. I would like to be more deliberate about seeing the value and excitement of the next thing.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Now, it was funny. I watched this little girl, and she was all interested. She wanted to give me a sticker, and so we went through this whole thing, and I picked out the sticker, and she was giving it to me and everything. And then all of a sudden, something else came along, and boom, she was
She was gone. Yeah.
yeah, which is so. I mean, it's so cool, and it is.
Yeah. It's a profound skill.
It is.
Profound skill. Now we want to manage this so that if I'm busy, driving the bus, and something cool comes along, I don't get off the bus and the bus crashes for the passengers.
Right.
So we want to balance this, and we also don't want to get stuck in the mindset that we are looking for the next shiny thing, always looking. So that when we do have something, like I said, sometimes when the kids are immersed, they don't want to let it go. That's a positive thing too.
Oh, it is.
So we want to get the best of both. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, as adults, we seem to get the worst of it all. We just totally flip it on its head. Yeah. I mean, we lose the capacity for immersion. We lose the capacity to shift from one to the other, and we continually look for things that aren't actually there.
That is true. That is very
it's amazing.
Just plod along, blah, blah, blah. We're not immersed and excited about something, and we're not ready to shift either way. We're just plodding, So,
yeah. Well, some of us
don't want to do that. That's a big we.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we get so immersed in what we are doing here in the session.
Right, exactly.
It's magical, and time stretches. It's too fantastic.
Okay, so the next slide is actually right on the point of this. The world is a perfect school, intimately attuned to each individual. Once we see that our needs and wants must be in attunement with the grand theme of the universe, the development and enhancement of awareness, everything will flow.
Yes.
We must strategically set up our lives to allow for this flow as much as possible.
Yes.
The ability to live in a childlike state of flexibility and immersion is still available to us when we deliberately choose it.
Yes.
And I said, I think I have lived this way to some degree my whole life, but I haven't set up my life in a strategic way that would allow for the maximum value in doing so. and this is an interesting idea that needs more thought.
Yes, yes, yes.
And this,
Very simple. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, no, just this. This really relates to the other stuff that I've been thinking about, and we'll get into that eventually. But I'm feeling more and more happy about a lot of the choices that I have made that a lot of people would say were dumb choices. I'm feeling happier and happier with the fact that I have made those choices along the way. I can see now that I do need to practice being more intentional and more deliberate and more
Yes.
just aware of
And
setting it up so
self-appreciative.
that it is giving me the most value. But I'm not, and I don't think I've ever been unhappy with the choices I made because it's just me, you know, but I'm not apologizing and I'm not justifying.
Yes, yes. And it's having a profound effect, because when you apologized, it had a implicative effect in making you feel actually the feeling silly.
Right.
Right. If you are constantly feeling silly, this is going to translate and affect your whole system. It's not a good thing at all.
No.
Right. So I can clearly see the shift in how you are feeling. You are feeling your sensibility, your sobriety, your moreness, your sensibility, all of it. You're feeling it now, and it's shifting. And it's completely just making that desire for apology go away. The two are not, the feeling and the apologies, they're not reinforcing each other anymore, right? Feeding off of each other. Right. So your natural sobriety can now come out, your natural sensibility, your natural moreness, your natural intelligence, your grace, your sophistication, all can come out now because you don't feel that. So that apology is a domino effect. Yeah. That was very, very, very consequential. Yes.
Right. Oh yeah.
Very
it's big. It's very big.
Very huge. All right. So I just want to make one quick little comment here.
Okay.
You know, we love perspective shifting, right? Our magic wand, perspective shifting. It is an incredible tool. I mean, perspective shifting combined with thinking things through to the end, those two tools are not alone are enough to be completely transformative in our lives when applied fully, right? Now, we also want to develop the ability to perspective shift. Yeah. Beside perspective shift to, perception shift. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say, wait.
I know I just emphasized the wrong thing. I'm my bad. So besides perspective shifting,
let me go back here.
The very thing I was trying to emphasize, I didn't. We want to learn to perception shift as well, right? So we want to understand that how we see things is a function of our perception, right? Right. So in other words, if I'm feeling silly, I'm going to perceive myself or the world in a particular way, right? Right. So this is my perception is totally determined by my internal perception. My external perception influenced by my internal perception. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So, but I want to make a key point here, though. So we've got perspective shifting, perception shifting, and the third most important one I feel is context shifting.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they all work together, obviously, but this session, it's all about emphasizing the most profound context we always need to keep in mind. When things do not make sense, context shift to this context of the session, right? It's emphasizing the context that everything is about enhancement and development of awareness or growth of awareness, whatever you want to call it, stimulation, prompting, whatever. It's all about this growth of awareness, development and enhancement. In that context, everything suddenly starts to make sense.
Right.
Always. So whenever we're at odds with the world and things don't make sense, you shift to this context and suddenly it does. Right?
Good.
This is absolutely critical. So we want to use perspective shifting and perception shifting through shifting to this context, and then it all suddenly we start seeing it and we see the angles. It all starts to fall into place. We don't have to struggle with our perspective and our perception shifting when we have developed the ability to context shift to this particular context.
I like it.
It's the master context that everything suddenly makes sense in. It's incredible. It's incredible. Changes absolutely everything. Look at how you shifted the context of your perception when it came to the people that you do business with. You didn't say these people are crappy and they're not good business people and blah, and blah, and blah. No, you shifted the context to make it about you.
Right.
And suddenly it was all about your awareness, all about application, all about understanding, discernment, awareness. Wow, wow, wow. Suddenly the whole thing blew up into magic, magic,
Right.
magic. Yes. Very
Yes.
cool. Very cool. Okay. Very cool.
I think that I have, to some degree, for a long, long time, kind of lived in that context of
Exactly.
learning, just that's kind of the goal.
Yes.
But
We are not teachers.
I haven't done that strategically, and I haven't done it deliberately, as deliberately as I would like to. So
Exactly. This is our job. If I really do my job well, I'm not actually really teaching you anything. No, I'm making you aware of what you already knew. I'm making the obvious to you. Yes.
Right.
All right. So, Sue is on the path to facilitate the program where she can take on a client and do it herself, and be a facilitator, with her own client, and of way of impeccability. But, to be a facilitator, it's a whole different logic. Right. It's something that I think you would be fabulous at too, if ever you wanted to do it, by the way. Truly would love to see that come about. Truly, I think it'll be phenomenal. At any rate, so to think of this as a facilitator, think of the oil in your engine, right? Now, I'm not sure exactly how aware you are of the technicalities of oil in your engine, but if you were actually go inside where the oil is, like inside the piston or wherever, and you measure the amount of oil that's there on the wall of the cylinder, it's micrometers. You need a micrometer. It's like fractions of an inch, like many million, like it's minuscule, that thinness of the oil there, right? Now, take it away, what happens to the engine?
Right. Burns up.
It stops. It gets stuck. Exactly, right? It freezes up. It cannot work. So as a facilitator, we don't necessarily do a lot. We just be that oil in that right spot there, right? But even though it's a tiny amount, it makes all the difference, right? It's a big deal, even though it's a little. So this is what I really wish to communicate here. That we've always had this perspective that we are facilitators, not teachers. All I'm doing is I'm putting that little drop of oil there. The things were stuck. Now they move again. There you go. It was always there. It was always there. It was always there. Making the obvious. But that facilitation is just a drop of oil. That's
right. That's good. I like that. Good analogy.
So I am really looking forward to already what is visible, your sobriety. In other words, it's a maturity that has always been there, but now getting the chance to actually materialize, manifest, and be expressed, to be claimed and owned and enjoyed and celebrated.
Right.
Yeah, very powerful. Very powerful. I think you're going to surprise yourself. I'm absolutely convinced of this. Absolutely. Now, I want to say this too, because yes, I have practice in this. Beena is developing and is already very skilled at this also, to see the moreness. Yeah. And it's much easier to see it externally than internally. So I want to, on this point of surprise, set the intent to surprise yourself positively. Or to positively surprise yourself. Set it as an intent specifically.
Surprise myself.
You want to set the intent to positively surprise yourself. Very specific. Yeah. Not just surprise, because surprises can be nasty too. No, yeah. So it has to be built in here to positively surprise yourself with your own moreness.
Oh, okay. Hang on.
Very specific intent, right? So I intend to positively surprise myself with my own moreness. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, I don't know. She's got something going on here. I'm trying to
Yeah.
put this in bold so that I really pay attention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Emphasize it. Absolutely.
Yes.
And because I really feel that as much as you are aware of your moreness, there's a moreness beyond your moreness. And this is what I am now looking to set the stage for. Yeah.
Okay.
Where at some point you're going to look back and say, wow, I never really realized that I had that. But now it's like, duh. But, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I do see this. It's a really cool deal.
I like it. I
Beena,
like it.
you feel this too? There's moreness beyond the moreness.
There's always more.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. But in terms of expectations, I really feel you are going to get some very pleasant surprises about yourself.
Mm.
Very pleasant, very awesome, unexpectedness, which, yes, there's always more, but there's more that is expected and more that's and more that's unexpected. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Pleasant,
I will
positive surprises. Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
definitely look
That's very
forward
cool.
to seeing
Very
that.
cool.
I'll look forward to being surprised.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you intended.
I'm intending it. Yes.
You are specifically setting an intent to be surprised. Yeah, not just waiting for it. No, it's an intent. That's why I'm saying it's a big difference here, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can bold. Yes.
Very cool. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
Okay. We need something to get us going on our path. So we have childhood, family, society, and convention. This starts us out, but is far from perfect. Because of the imperfection, if we are self honest enough to acknowledge that imperfection, we will seek alternatives. Actually, I think that's kind of what happened to me in these
Repeat that last part again, please.
um, in conventional life is imperfect. And when we are self honest enough and acknowledge that imperfection, then we will seek alternatives. So we quit being tolerant or accepting of things that are not helping us, not good enough, not
Exactly.
whatever.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. And right there, this is a big change for Kay.
Yes, it's a big change, very big change.
I mean, your tolerance came out of your incredible goodness, but it was an inappropriate tolerance. Yes.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
I said early life and conventionality is something like an eggshell or a chrysalis. It's a safe place to start, but we soon outgrow it.
Exactly.
Exactly. When we get on the path of awareness, we get on the path of awareness when we see the imperfection of conventionality.
Mm.
Turning convention upside down is a shortcut to sensibility. I like that. And our larger purpose of developing and enhancing awareness. Unhooking from shoulds and shouldn'ts is liberating and sets us on the path.
Yeah.
I wrote, like a child, we can immediately turn to new things without preconceived ideas of how we should or shouldn't be or do. This is a shortcut past the winding switchbacks we sometimes choose in an attempt to change without really changing, or move forward without going too far off the beaten path.
Yeah.
I think for me, that is how I get onto those switchbacks all the time, is wanting to, used to do that. Of course, not anymore. Used to, I want to do something, but not too far,
Yeah.
So I like that. This is good too. We have to realize that we have to take full responsibility for our own lives. We are the ultimate authority when it comes to what is best for us. Even though the universe helps us along the way, we are the ones that must make the final decisions about our own lives. I said, I must be childlike in my willingness to embrace new ways of being, and adult-like in taking responsibility for my growth and learning.
Mm. Can you repeat that, please? Okay.
I must be
I mean,
child
as an intent.
as an intent. Okay. I intend to be childlike in my willingness to embrace new ways of being, and adult-like in taking responsibility for my growth and learning.
There you go. And decisions. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And decisions. I'll write that.
Growth and learning and decisions. Yeah. Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a very, very cool and very potent intent. Most
What is it?
beautiful. Most beautiful.
We can't really make a mistake as long as we make decisions based on our impeccability.
Yeah.
If we have used our energy in the best possible way and made sure our intentions are true, even if we make a mistake, the universe will help us. When my motivation is the development and enhancement of awareness, even if I make a mistake, it will eventually turn out for the best. I don't need to be afraid of making mistakes or choosing unwisely. The universe will make adjustments and will compel me to go in the right direction. And
As long as,
I am impeccable.
exactly. I mean, that's that whole paragraph there. It's all under, as long as, you can even put it in the front, as long as, and at the end, as long as I'm impeccable. As long as I'm impeccable, as long as I'm impeccable. You know, can start and end it.
Right.
This is the key. This is absolutely the key. Yeah.
Our responsibility is knowing and standing behind what we believe to be right for ourselves. The universe takes care of the rest. I have to do the work of enhancing and developing my own awareness. The universe is ready to assist in whatever way I need. Which I think is really true. I mean, it's kind of that thing of when you start to become aware of something, it just comes at you from all sides. And
Yes.
I think
There's
that,
a relationship between attention and reality.
right.
Yeah. So part of our management, we don't only want to practice habit management and mood management, but also, most importantly, attention management. Now, if you do not have the ability to habit manage and mood manage, then your attention management is going to be very problematic and very difficult, right?
Right.
So those two come first. Attention management comes after. But it's absolutely critical. And this is what's happening, because in these sessions, our attention is so focused and so much emphasis.
Right.
This is part of my job too, is to assist in the emphasis, right?
Right.
Knowing how potent it is. Through this emphasis, the lessons get externalized into external reality.
Cool.
And it gives you an opportunity for application.
Right.
Not to relearn, but to practice what you've already learned. Your awareness, your discernment, the understanding that you've acquired. That all needs to now be translated into application, to finalize it, to own it, to make it real, to get the self-proof. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it is a magical mechanism, and I am deliberately leveraging emphasis to have this happen. It's quite the thing. It's quite the thing. You know, like a Robin's whole life has shifted. She feels like she's just living in a magical universe that she never lived before, because everything is so connected. It's like, wow. I mean, she's even changed to saying, instead of saying have a good day, she says have a magical day. Same for you. You have this magic in your life continually. It's too incredible. It's too potent. It's too magical.
Wow.
Very cool. Very cool. Very beautiful. Very cool. And the other point I want to emphasize on this is that, particularly with women, they don't really realize how much power they really do have.
Yes, that is so interesting that you use that terminology. I also
look at that change. Look at that change, Beena. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it?
Yes.
That's what I was talking about.
What?
Never mind. Never mind.
Okay, so what I was saying was
I'm deliberately teasing you and deliberately withholding for the emphasis.
Okay. All right. I accept that.
When you shared that, there was a deeper sobriety, magic, a maturity of power, and it's the power that I was expecting you to be surprised at. And then when I said this, your reaction to it was a self-confirming, surprise look.
Yes.
And you even had that hushed reverence of acknowledgement, not of surprise. You weren't surprised at the power.
Right.
The fact that you were not surprised at power being so potent is the point of surprise.
Ah, well, that is interesting. Yeah.
It's an implication that you absolutely didn't just recognize it as, oh, yeah, you're right. No, you recognize this as me confirming something you already knew. Yes?
Yeah.
And as something profound and sublime, you had that hushed tone of reverence. But it was that you already were acutely aware of this. It's the surprise, the power that is K.
Yeah.
K is a power. I'm deliberate with my words here. Not just K has power. Yes, you have that too. But K is a power.
Wow.
That's a very big difference. Now, to really own that and really implement that is a big shift. That requires all sorts of things, not just caution, but confidence and feeling, that complete the fearlessness of absolute sensibility, not the foolhardy fearlessness, right? The fearlessness of awareness and discernment and understanding. You know what's going on and you have no inhibitions, you have no restrictions. Ego is completely not to worry. Habit is not to worry. All the inappropriate belief and feeling connectivities that reinforce it, none of those are present. You can do, and nothing can stop you. Yeah. Then you become a power.
Wow. Okay. I like it. So super awesome.
Yeah. Ziggurat. Yeah, exactly. But an impeccable one that's not just, blundering and rolling over like a ziggurat, right? So this is a sting like a butterfly, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But I'm trying to say it's more like be an elephant, but float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. All together, right? Your power. You're not a small thing, you're a big thing, but you can move nimbly and adroitly and sophisticatedly. Yeah. Hello, Beena.
That was cool. Nimbly. All right. Yeah. Nimbly. I like that word. Okay. I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, be a dancing whale.
I'm not sure. But, whatever. All right. The next slide says, insisting on what is right for ourselves must include humility.
Sorry. We got all sidetracked.
Oh.
When I said about the power, and he said, oh, I'm so glad you said the power. What else were you going to say?
Well, okay. How did I get there? I found out that, the book, the Why.
Oh, yeah.
Start with Why book. I went to the library to check it out, which, I haven't been to the library for a long time because of COVID. Mm-hmm. And while I was there, they pointed me to a, Sarah, stop, pointed me to an app that they have with the library where you can check out audiobooks just for free. And
Did you know you can do this on your phone?
Yeah, or your computer or anything. And
the computer not so easy, but on the phone it's easier.
Right. It's super easy. And it's like the Audible, but you don't own the book, so you don't keep it forever. But the the whole library is available for free, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to think of what it's called.
It's called Libby, the program.
Right.
Yeah.
So I downloaded that, and I
don't know if you can see it there or not, but
yeah, there it
I
is.
use it every day.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's awesome.
So
Most awesome.
I downloaded the book, and I can't remember how.
Oh,
somehow, in some real circuitous way, I came across a book. It's kind of an old book, but it's been reissued and changed a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's written by Susie Orman, who I don't know if you are,
Oh, I know who she is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
but and-
Like for the financial
right.
independence for the individual, the private person. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but this book is about, it says something like money and women or something. And it specifically, she really talks about the psychology of things and how your emotions affect your finances
Yes.
and,
Yes.
your outlook on things and how you make choices based on your thinking, and your feeling.
Your
And
expectation.
so she talks in there quite a bit about power and how women have traditionally and culturally not felt comfortable even thinking about being powerful.
Correct.
And
Correct.
part of that is that men don't want women to feel comfortable feeling powerful.
Absolutely. And they take their own power totally for granted. They don't even question it.
Right, right.
It's
So
like I'm entitled to it. It's my God-given right. It's just natural. It's like, duh.
you're the nurturer and I'm the powerful one, whatever.
Exactly.
But anyway, so I've been listening to that. I listened to that on the way up here. I didn't get all the way through it. It's super interesting. And I think that in relation to what I am learning right now, it's just really interesting to think about power and I mean that's a perspective shift. It's a context shift. It's a shift. And sometimes there are things that you don't even realize that you're thinking. And it's
Yes,
honestly
exactly.
not even your thinking. It's just
Exactly.
a sort of cultural thing that you're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting. And I feel like this is going to be a change for me is my finances. I think
Ah.
I think there are some big changes that should happen and I would like to have happen and I think will be appropriate to have happen.
Wow.
I don't know at all how that will come about, but that's not what I'm concerned with right now. Right now,
Correct.
I'm concerned
Correct.
with the perspective shifting and the growing and the self concept and all of that. So, but the idea of power and feeling comfortable thinking of yourself as powerful is a really cool thing.
Yes. 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 And
And
again, our power, I don't mention this very often. I'm very cautious with power because, of course, power is so easily corrupting, right?
yes.
But at the same token, we cannot ignore this. And it's a different kind of power that we are talking about, obviously, right?
Yes.
We are not talking about the power of dominance, like, for instance,
No.
the power to see your lessons that you've been emphasizing, that you've learned, to see them materialize in your life so that you can apply them.
Right.
You can get an opportunity to apply them. That's the kind of power I'm talking about, right?
And you can't really have impeccability without power.
You cannot have power without impeccability. Exactly.
Well,
yeah.
But power and energy are, if not synonymous, at least very close. And
absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Goodness sake.
Absolutely. Look up the engineering definition of power.
Right.
And it is essentially the ability to deliberately use energy.
Right. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can have all this energy, but you'll have no power if you cannot focus it and harness it and use it deliberately, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's the focused, the deliberate usage of energy. This is what power is. Yeah. So
Right.
it's very cool, very cool. So yeah, power is a big deal. It's a big deal.
That's impeccability is the best use of energy.
Exactly. And how is the ultimate of that not going to be power?
Right.
Yeah.
But okay, so I've been learning a lot about this too. There's a difference between power over,
Exactly. That's not power. That's dominance.
right. And so that's
Yeah.
not what we're talking about at all.
Nope.
Not.
Nope. Not at all.
But I do,
Not in the slightest least. No.
I think a lot of people, both male and female, have confusion about that.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. Which is why power is very rarely used in way of impeccability.
right.
And there's always an effort to distinguish and discern exactly what it is. Yeah. Not to be confused with nonsense power. That's not real power. That's just abuse
Right.
and bullying and all sorts of nonsense. No, and that's what corrupts people is this idea. But when you have real power, the power to make stuff happen, this too can be corrupting. In many of the ancient traditions and wisdom linear, whatever, they always talk about power being your lover. Like it's seductive. And,
Right.
if you are not careful with a lover, you can get in over your head and, be consumed by that. Right. So it's that same logic that, power is a seductor, or seductress, either way. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I want to just share here real quick, just to emphasize this point on power. It's not something we are coming at sort of just out of the blue or randomly. No. Now it's not deciding to load yet. Can you see it yet or not yet?
I can see it, but it just went kind of faded into.
Yeah. It's busy loading. I don't know why it decided to.
It's very black.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. All right.
Is
Never
this
seen
something
it
in the
do
bottom?
that before. Yeah. No, it's just the whole screen is taking a while to update. So why it's been so long, I don't know. But anyway, carry on, and I'll, when it comes back up, I'll bring it up.
Okay, well, all right.
That's wild.
Well, part of what I am really thinking a lot about is that being deliberate.
Exactly.
Wait. And deliberately using energy.
Exactly. That's power. Exactly.
Yeah. And just doing everything deliberately, really.
Exactly. Every time I go to screen share,
It goes away.
yeah, it's the screen share. There's not enough bandwidth to connect to screen share. But anyway, I think you've seen this before, right?
I have.
And all of these things, they all funnel down right to the bottom into power. That's the only point that I wanted to share.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So let me go out of it, and then let me see if I can get to the bottom, and then at least to be able to see it. Yeah, it's taking a while. Even when I get out of it, it doesn't want to share it. So,
well,
all right, next time. But that was the point, that everything funnels into power. Yeah.
okay. Well, it looks to me like our time is up.
Well, we got a bit more. It's okay. So if you got more time, we can go a little bit more.
Well, I need to.
Oh, that's right. You got to go down to Oklahoma City. That's right. Yeah.
We're just getting into for next time. We could get into the rest of it is super interesting, and then some of my thoughts about things that have been coming to me that relate to this. We can look at that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. And that's why I like going so slowly through this.
Right.
Because there's tremendous power in this session and your sharing of it, your insights, your discernments. I don't want to just go to the next point. No, I want to give it full stick, because this whole session has been gestating for so long.
Yes. It's true. That is true.
So I want to give full honor to the birthing process here.
Okay, I like it.
I love it. That's
Okay.
some potent stuff, Kay. Potent
It is
stuff.
important.
Potent stuff.
It is, and
Yeah.
it's really
Very, very magical. Yeah.
it makes me makes me happy, makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So the only thing that I would add to that is enjoy and celebrate.
Right.
Okay.
Will do.
Enjoy and celebrate K and the moreness of K and the surprises of K
Okay, I will remember the
and
surprises.
K power.
Okay. All right. Well, I will talk to you all on
Brilliant.
Wednesday.
Bye bye, K. Bye bye. Oh, so magical. So
Okay.
magical.
Bye for now. Bye for now, Kate.
Bye for now. Yes, bye for now.